This is Lorenzo, and this is the Lifestyle Design Taxonomy video series, lesson number 3. It's on our 3 activity types. All 12 universal activities of life will either be an activity of maintenance, development, or leisure. Activities of maintenance is the source of our life's stability, of which there are 5: sleep, eat, walk, manage, and maintain. Activities of development or growth is the source of our life's purpose and satisfaction. There's 4 of them: solve, learn, serve, and train. Activities of leisure, when done right, is the primary source for our life's enjoyment. There's 3 of them: entertain, connect, and play. Life is not merely about maintenance, indulgence, or personal development, but the delicate balance between all 3 that makes life truly worth living. This lesson is an introduction to the 3 primary types of lifestyle activities, as well as 3 of the 9 facets that make up this taxonomy. Remember to download yours. Let's get started. So for our first activity type domain, we have activities of maintenance, which can be defined as the passive and active instrumental activities responsible for regenerative physical, emotional, and socioeconomic balance. As we can see, there are 5 total maintenance activities: sleep, eat, walk, maintain, and manage. 3 maintenance activities in the physical dimension, 1 in the emotional dimension, and 1 in the socioeconomic dimension. Sleep is a passive in terms of the body, active in terms of the mind. Instrumental means to an end. We sleep for restoration, not just for its own sake. Physical, maintenance, balancing activity. Eating is a passive, instrumental, physical, maintenance, balancing activity. The key to food mastery, as you'll see, is to ensure that it's both instrumental, so satiating and healthy. So it's a means to an end to be satiating and healthy, but also that it is so enjoyable that you do it for its own sake. Walking is an active, instrumental, physical, maintenance, balancing activity. The simplest way to convert an instrumental activity such as walking, getting from A to B, into an activity for its own sake is to simply do it with others. Maintenance activities such as breathwork or meditation are physically passive, mentally active, mostly instrumental, emotional, maintenance, balancing activities. Managing other people, such as service providers, employees in your own company, are active, instrumental, socioeconomic, balancing, or maintenance activities. Moving on to our second activity type domain, activities of development can be defined in the following way: active instrumental activities responsible for compounding cognitive, emotional, and socioeconomic, physical, and psychomotor growth. In total, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 developmental activities: 2 in the cognitive dimension, 1 in the emotional and socioeconomic dimension, and 1 in the physical and psychomotor dimension. We can think of solving the problems that you care about most as activities that are active, instrumental, mostly cognitive, developmental growth activities. Whereas solving is applied knowledge, learning is the acquisition of new and typically propositional knowledge, which is an active, instrumental, mostly a means to an end, cognitive, developmental activity. I have found one of the most effective ways to learn is to take information that you've just studied and to, number 1, actively recall the information, but then also deeply think about what it means. To serve others is to convert your most valuable experiences into the highest advantage for others. Therefore, service is an active, instrumental, emotional, and socioeconomic developmental activity. Exercise, as you can imagine, is an active, instrumental, and for me also autotelic, compounding, physical, as well as psychomotor, think of the brain, developmental activity. Solving problems and acquiring knowledge to help you better solve those problems, and then sharing those solutions with others are activities of work, whereas training physical and psychomotor systems is an activity of health. Unlike activities of maintenance and leisure, activities of development are subject to compound growth. For example, to solve meaningful problems or to acquire knowledge will help us fulfill our cognitive potential. To serve or to convert our most valuable experiences and product into the highest advantage of others will help us to fulfill our emotional and socioeconomic potential. And finally, proper training or exercise will help us fulfill our psychomotor and our physical potential. Moving on to our third activity type domain, activities of leisure, which can be defined in the following way. These are passive and active autotelic activities responsible for spontaneous cognitive, psychomotor, and emotional balance and growth. We saw that maintenance activities is all about balance and developmental activities is all about growth. What makes leisure activities so unique is that they can provide us with both balance and growth, but the difference is it is done so spontaneously. We don't listen to music or watch movies or play and connect with friends to achieve balance or growth. And yet that is exactly what they offer when done right. In total, there are 3 leisure activities, as we can see, one in the cognitive dimension, one in the psychomotor or even the physical dimension, as well as one in the emotional dimension. Watching a good movie, listening to music, or reading for pleasure is a passive, autotelic, cognitively balancing, and sometimes developmental activity. Physical play is a great example of an active, autotelic for its own sake, psychomotor and physical, balancing for the body, and sometimes you learn new skills type of pleasureful activity. So in summary, there are 3 activity type domains: activities of maintenance, activities of development, and activities of leisure. In total, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 activities of maintenance, 1, 2, 3, 4 activities of development and growth, and finally 1, 2, 3 activities of leisure.